Welcome back to Daily Motivation Secrets. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects so many of us on a daily basis: anxiety. But here's something most people don't talk about. Majority of the advice out there on how to manage anxiety is flat out wrong. You've probably heard the typical suggestions: just breathe, don't worry, it's all in your head, or take a walk, it'll pass. These sound good in theory, right? But let's be real though, they actually work? In the heat of the moment, when anxiety has you on edge, these quick tips might offer a bit of relief. But more often than not, they don't get to the root of what's causing your anxiety in the first place. They're just temporary fixes that provide a short burst of calm, but they don't address the deeper issues that fuel anxiety. Today, I'm here to tell you about the things that actually work when it comes to managing anxiety. If you found yourself stuck in that cycle of temporary solutions with no real change, then stick around. What I'm about to share with you is a total game changer. Let's get started. 1. Understanding anxiety. It's more than just stress. First things first, what is anxiety? Anxiety isn't just about stress or feeling worried. It's your body's natural response to perceived danger. And here's the catch: that danger doesn't always have to be real. Your body reacts as though there's an immediate threat, even if the danger is just an overwhelming thought, an uncertain future, or a stressful situation that feels bigger than it really is. When you feel your heart racing or your thoughts spiraling, it's easy to think that you're broken or that you're weak for feeling this way. But the truth is, your body is simply trying to protect you. Anxiety is a natural survival mechanism, hardwired into us to keep us alert and ready for danger. But when there's no real threat, anxiety becomes overactive. What happens next is key. You feel out of control. Now, the important question: what can we do when our body reacts in a way that doesn't serve us? The answer is simple yet powerful: awareness. Understanding that anxiety is just your body's alarm system trying to protect you is the first step in gaining control. When you recognize anxiety for what it is, a signal, not a sentence, you can begin to manage it more effectively. Think about this: the next time anxiety hits, ask yourself, is this a real danger? Or is my mind just reacting to uncertainty? This simple shift in perspective can help you break free from the cycle of fear and help you regain control. 2. Why just breathe doesn't always work. Here's the thing: you've probably been told 100 times to just breathe when you're feeling anxious. Sounds simple, right? But let's get real for a second. When you're in the midst of a panic attack or your thoughts are spiraling, focusing on your breath can feel impossible. You're in fight or flight mode, with your body flooded with adrenaline. How are you supposed to sit down and just breathe when everything inside you is screaming for action? Don't get me wrong, deep breathing is a powerful tool, but it's only effective when your mind is calm enough to actually focus on it. And when anxiety is at its peak, trying to focus on your breath can be like trying to calm a storm with a light breeze. It's simply not enough. So, what works better? The secret lies in grounding yourself. Instead of forcing yourself to breathe, which can add more pressure, try this: engage your senses. Touch something with texture, feel your feet on the ground, listen to the sounds around you. These grounding techniques pull your focus away from your overwhelming thoughts and back into the present moment. Think about it. Have you ever been so caught in your head, only to step outside, feel the fresh air, and suddenly start to feel a little calmer? That's the power of grounding. It's like pressing the reset button for your mind. So, next time you feel anxiety creeping in, don't force yourself to just breathe. Take a moment to ground yourself. It's like giving your body a sense of stability, even when your mind feels shaky. 3. Challenge your thoughts. Anxiety lives in the future. One of the biggest drivers of anxiety is uncertainty. When you don't know what's coming next, your mind fills in the blanks with worst-case scenarios. You imagine things going wrong, and before you know it, anxiety has taken over. But here's the kicker: just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Think about how many times you've imagined a terrible outcome, only to find that when the moment arrived, it wasn't nearly as bad as you feared. That's your mind making up stories. So, here's what you can do: challenge those thoughts. When anxiety tells you, this is going to be a disaster, ask yourself, what's the evidence for this, or how likely is this to happen? You'll quickly realize that most of your fears are just what-ifs, and what-ifs aren't facts. Here's a simple technique: when you start feeling anxious, pause for a moment. Write down the thoughts that are driving your anxiety. Then, for each one, ask, what's the actual likelihood of this happening? Or what evidence do I have to support this? You'll be amazed at how much of your anxiety is built on assumptions, not reality. The more you practice challenging these thoughts, the less control anxiety will have over you. 4. Create a routine. Anxiety thrives in chaos. One of the simplest yet most powerful tools in managing anxiety is creating a routine. Why? Because anxiety loves chaos. When your life feels unpredictable, your mind starts to spin, looking for control in places that don't exist. But when you establish a routine, you create a sense of structure. You give your brain a foundation to rely on. This doesn't mean you need to micromanage every moment of your day. It just means having small rituals that bring predictability and stability. Think about your mornings. Do you often wake up feeling rushed and out of control? Or do you have a routine that sets the tone for the rest of your day? A simple, consistent morning routine can set you up for success and reduce anxiety. So, start small. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water when you wake up, taking 10 minutes to meditate, or writing down your goals for the day. Those little actions give your mind a sense of control, and the more you build them into your day, the less anxiety will take over. So, here's what I want you to take away today. Anxiety doesn't control you. You have the power to control it. By understanding what anxiety really is, challenging your thoughts, building positive habits, staying active, practicing mindfulness, and seeking help when needed, you can reduce anxiety's hold on your life. The key is to take small, consistent steps every day. You don't need to eliminate anxiety completely if it's unrealistic. What you can do is learn how to live with it, manage it, and keep it from running the show. And that's when you start living with more peace and less fear. So, what's your first step? Will you start by building a morning routine, taking a walk, or practicing mindfulness for just 5 minutes today? Whatever it is, take that first step because even the smallest action can begin to shift everything. Remember, you have the tools, you have the power, and anxiety does not get to control your life. You do. 1. Understanding anxiety. It's more than just stress. Let's get one thing straight. Anxiety is not just stress. We've all been there, right? The tight chest, the racing thoughts, the constant sense of worrying that hangs over you like a cloud. But anxiety isn't just about being stressed out. It's actually a natural, protective response that your body has when it perceives a threat. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt your heart race when you're about to speak in public, or maybe you felt that sense of dread before a big meeting? In those moments, your body goes into what's known as the fight or flight mode. It's your mind's way of protecting you, preparing you for what it thinks could be a dangerous situation. But here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes, anxiety doesn't know how to distinguish between actual danger and everyday challenges. So, when you're feeling anxious about something like a job interview, meeting new people, or dealing with a tough situation at work, your body can react as though you're facing a life-or-death scenario. Think about it. When you're in the middle of a panic attack, what's happening inside? Your heart is racing, your breath is shallow, and you feel that knot in your stomach. But is that life-threatening? Of course not. It's your body's alarm system, signaling that something's off, but often, it's overreacting to something completely manageable. Here's what I want you to realize. Anxiety is not your enemy. It's a signal from your body, trying to protect you. It's like a warning light in your car. It's telling you something needs attention. But what happens if you ignore the warning light? You could risk something worse happening down the road. The same goes for anxiety. The more you understand that anxiety is just your body's attempt to protect you, the less power it will have over you. It's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to help. When you shift your perspective and see it as a natural process, you'll start to feel more in control. And with control comes peace. Here's a thought to consider. What if the next time you feel that wave of anxiety coming over you, instead of panicking, you paused and reminded yourself, "This is my body trying to protect me. It's okay. I've got this." How would that change your experience of anxiety? So, let's stop seeing anxiety as something to fear or fight. It's simply a part of being human, a part of how we are wired to survive. Once you accept it as that, it becomes easier to manage. Takeaway: anxiety is not a sign of weakness. It's your body's way of protecting you. Embrace it as a natural process, and it will lose its grip on you. Understanding anxiety is the first step toward managing it. It's not something you can completely eliminate, and you shouldn't want to. It's a tool your body uses to keep you safe. The key is learning how to respond to it in a way that empowers you instead of overwhelming you. So, what can you do the next time anxiety shows up? Remind yourself that it's just your body's way of signaling something important. Instead of fearing it, embrace it and take control of your response. This shift in mindset will give you back the power to navigate life with more confidence and less fear. Stay tuned, because next, we'll explore how to challenge your thoughts and break free from the cycle of worrying that anxiety so often creates. You've got this. Take that first step today. 2. Why the advice "just breathe and relax" doesn't always work. You've probably heard this advice 100 times, right? Just breathe. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But when you're in the middle of a full-blown panic attack or intense anxiety, focusing on your breath doesn't always seem like the magical cure everyone claims it is. Let's take a moment to really think about this. You're feeling overwhelmed. Your heart is pounding. Your thoughts are racing, and your chest feels tight. The last thing on your mind is calmly taking deep breaths, right? Here's the truth. Deep breathing is a fantastic technique, but it only works when you have the mental clarity to actually focus on it. When anxiety hits hard, your mind isn't exactly in the right place to focus on something as simple as breathing. It's like being asked to calmly solve a math problem while someone is shouting at you. It's almost impossible. So, what can you do instead? How can you break free from that spiral when your mind is overwhelmed? The key is to ground yourself. Let me explain what I mean by that. Grounding techniques are powerful tools that help pull you out of that chaotic headspace and back into the present moment. Instead of trying to focus solely on your breath, start by engaging your senses. Touch something with texture, maybe a piece of fabric or a rough surface nearby. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Pay attention to your surroundings. Notice what you see, what you hear, or what you feel around you. Here's the game changer. When you activate your senses, you shift your focus away from the anxiety-inducing thoughts and bring yourself back to reality. It's like snapping out of a dream. Your brain gets a reset, and you can breathe a little easier. Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to count to 10 when you felt overwhelmed? It's such a simple thing, yet it can be incredibly effective. The reason? It takes your mind off the spiraling thoughts and gives you something to focus on. It helps shift your energy from fight or flight mode to engagement with reality. By focusing on physical sensations, you're telling your brain, "This moment is safe. I'm in control. I'm not in danger." And that right there is the first step to regaining your sense of peace. Here's a quick exercise. The next time you feel anxiety creeping in, try grounding yourself. Close your eyes, take a moment, and really feel your body in space. Focus on one thing you can touch, one sound you can hear, and one thing you can see clearly. By anchoring your attention to the present, you'll be able to slow the rapid-fire thoughts and calm the storm inside. Takeaway: deep breathing is effective, but it's not always the most helpful tool when anxiety takes over. Grounding techniques like engaging your senses or simply counting to 10 can help you regain calm and focus when everything else feels out of control. Here's the key takeaway: anxiety doesn't have to dominate you. Sure, deep breathing can be helpful, but when you're in the thick of anxiety, grounding techniques can provide a more immediate sense of relief. It's about shifting your focus from the overwhelming thoughts in your head to the tangible world around you. And once you've regained that sense of presence, the anxiety becomes more manageable. Remember, it's okay to feel anxious, as it's natural. The goal isn't to completely eliminate anxiety, but to manage it in a way that works for you. Whether it's grounding techniques, breathing exercises, or any of the other strategies we'll explore, the more tools you have in your toolbox, the better you can handle whatever comes your way. So, the next time anxiety knocks on your door, ask yourself, how can I bring myself back to the present? What grounding techniques can I use to shift my focus? Take action. You've got the power to regain control. 3. Challenge your thoughts. Anxiety thrives on fear of the unknown. Let's be honest for a second. How many times have you felt that surge of anxiety, only to realize that it's rooted in something that hasn't even happened yet? In fact, one of the biggest causes of anxiety is uncertainty. We don't know what's coming next, and our minds immediately jump to the worst-case scenarios. We imagine all sorts of horrible outcomes, and before we know it, we're stuck in an overwhelming spiral of fear and worrying. But here's the truth you need to remember. You don't have to believe every thought that comes into your mind. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Your mind can come up with a lot of stories that sound real, but they're just that, stories. And the more you give in to those stories, the more anxiety they create. Think about if you ever found yourself imagining a meeting or conversation going terribly, only to later realize that it wasn't nearly as bad as you had feared. Or have you been anxious about something for days, only to discover that the worst-case scenario you imagined never actually happened? The mind loves to create these worst-case scenarios because it's trying to protect you. But here's the catch: the more you focus on them, the more power they have. Anxiety grows in the shadows of uncertainty. It thrives on fear of the unknown. But when you start questioning those thoughts, you begin to take away its power. So, how do you do that? Challenge your thoughts. Next time your mind starts spinning with worst-case scenarios, ask yourself, what's the actual evidence for this? Or what's the likelihood of this happening? You'll quickly realize that most of the time, your anxious thoughts are just exaggerated fears. I know this sounds simple, but it works. I'll share a quick personal example. There was a time when I had a huge presentation coming up. I was anxious for weeks. My mind kept running through all the things that could go wrong with if I forget my words. What if the audience doesn't understand me? But when I took a step back and asked myself, what's the actual likelihood of this happening? I realized that my fears were blown out of proportion. Most of what I was worried about wasn't even based in reality. The key is to shift your focus from the what-ifs to what's actually true. And that takes practice. But the more you practice this, the less control anxiety has over you. Here's a simple exercise to get started. When you feel anxious, write down the thoughts that are causing you stress. Then, next to each thought, write down the evidence for and against it. You'll be amazed at how many of your fears don't hold up when you challenge them. Takeaway: not all of your thoughts are worth believing. By challenging the anxious thoughts in your mind and questioning their validity, you break the cycle of fear and regain control over your emotions. So, the next time anxiety starts creeping in, remember this: you don't have to trust every thought that comes into your head. Your mind is going to offer you stories of worst-case scenarios, but you don't have to buy into them. When you start questioning those thoughts and challenging their accuracy, you take away their power. And here's the thing: the more you do this, the less anxiety will have a hold on you. Every time you challenge those fearful thoughts, you're building resilience. You're telling your mind, I'm in control. I don't need to fear the unknown because I can handle whatever comes my way. I want you to remember, anxiety only has power when we don't question it. When you start actively challenging your thoughts, you'll break the endless loop of worrying. And that's when you start to regain your peace of mind. So, I challenge you, next time anxiety strikes, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what's the evidence for this thought, or how likely is this to happen? You'll start to see how much control you really have over your thoughts and how much anxiety you can actually dissolve by just questioning it. 4. Creating a routine. Anxiety thrives in chaos. Let's take a moment to think about something really important. How often do you feel overwhelmed by the chaos of your day-to-day life? How often do you feel like everything is up in the air, unpredictable, and out of your control? If you're anything like most people, those moments of uncertainty can lead to anxiety creeping in. Here's the truth: anxiety thrives in chaos. When your life feels disorganized, when things are unpredictable, your mind starts to spiral. It gets caught in the whirlwind, constantly worrying about what could go wrong next. But here's where the game changes. One of the most powerful tools you have to combat anxiety is creating a routine. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't a routine make life feel too rigid? Don't I need flexibility? And you're right, routines shouldn't be about rigidity. They shouldn't be a source of stress. They should provide a foundation that gives you a sense of control, comfort, and predictability in an often unpredictable world. Let me explain. When everything around you feels uncertain, when you don't know what will happen next, your mind starts to react with fear and worrying. But when you have a routine, even a simple one, it's like putting a solid, dependable structure in place. Your mind knows what to expect next, and this sense of stability naturally eases anxiety. Think about your morning. Have you ever woken up to a frantic start, rushing around, feeling like the world is already chaotic before you even leave your house? When we start the day like this, it's like opening the door to anxiety. But when you start your day with a simple routine, even something as small as waking up at the same time every day, having a cup of tea or coffee, and setting some intentions for the day, you create a sense of control over the rest of your day. Here's another example. How many of you have had those days where you barely get enough sleep, and by the time you get to your desk, you already feel behind, stressed, and unorganized. By setting a regular sleep schedule, you can ensure that your body and mind are better prepared to handle stress and perform well throughout the day. But here's something more. It's not just about mornings. A routine doesn't stop at waking up. It should include planning your meals, setting time aside for rest, and even scheduling moments of relaxation. The more you add structure, the more you'll notice that your anxiety begins to fade little by little. Have you ever noticed how many successful people swear by their morning routines? From CEOs to athletes to creative professionals, routines are often the bedrock of their success. Why? Because when you have control over your schedule, you don't feel like life is controlling you. I want you to take a second and think about this. What part of your day feels the most chaotic? Is it the mornings, the evenings, or maybe the hours in between when you're juggling work and personal life? Now, imagine if you could bring just a little more structure to that part of your day. What would it feel like to know exactly what you're going to do next without scrambling or feeling out of control? The beauty of a routine is that it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't mean micromanaging every minute of your day that would create stress, not relieve it. It just means setting up simple rituals and practices that anchor you to the present moment, giving you the ability to move through your day with confidence, clarity, and peace. Let me share a small tip that I personally use. Every morning, I start by writing down the top 3 things I need to accomplish that day. It's simple, but it works. It gives me a sense of direction, and when the day starts to feel overwhelming, I remind myself, I know exactly what I need to do. What's one thing you could implement tomorrow morning that would help you feel more in control of your day? Maybe it's setting aside 5 minutes to plan the day ahead, drinking water first thing in the morning, or taking a few minutes to breathe before jumping into your work. No matter how small, each act of intention brings more control back into your hands. Takeaway: creating a routine is one of the most effective ways to reduce anxiety. It provides stability, structure, and a sense of control that will naturally help calm your mind. So, what do we learn from all of this? Anxiety thrives in chaos. But when you create a routine, even a simple one, you create a sense of control and stability. You reduce uncertainty and give your mind something to hold on to when the world around you feels unpredictable. Start small. Start with something as simple as having a consistent morning routine, planning your meals, or ensuring you get enough sleep each night. The more you build this structure into your life, the more confident and calm you'll feel. Don't wait for your life to settle down. Take control by building habits that bring calm to the storm. The more you practice this, the more you'll realize just how much power you have over your anxiety. It's not about eliminating it completely. It's about learning to manage it with grace, control, and confidence. So here's my challenge to you. What small routine can you start today? It doesn't have to be big, just something that helps you feel grounded and in control. Take that first step and watch how it begins to shift your experience of the world. 5. Exercise your best ally in reducing anxiety. Let's talk about one of the most underrated tools in managing anxiety, and it's something we all know: exercise. You've probably heard it 1,000 times, right? Exercise is good for you. But here's the truth most people overlook. Exercise isn't just great for your body. It's one of the most powerful tools for fighting anxiety. You see, when you engage in physical activity, your body releases something called endorphins, your brain's natural mood boosters. These endorphins don't just help your body feel better, they also help ease the stress and tension in your mind. Have you ever noticed that after a good workout or a walk, you just feel better? That's because your body is literally changing the chemistry of your brain to help you feel more relaxed and happier. But here's the catch: you don't have to run a marathon or hit the gym for hours every day to reap the benefits. In fact, you don't even need intense exercise. A simple 20-minute walk every day can make a world of difference to your mental well-being. Imagine this: you've had a tough day. Your mind is running in circles with worries, and anxiety is starting to take over. What if, instead of retreating into your thoughts, you decided to put on your shoes, step outside, and go for a walk? It's not about running or pushing yourself to your limits, it's simply about moving your body and giving your mind a break from the constant flow of anxious thoughts. Have you ever had a moment where you were overwhelmed, but after walking around or stretching, you felt a little lighter? Maybe the answers to your problems didn't magically appear, but your mind felt clearer. That's the power of movement. It's a release for your body and a reset for your mind. But what if you don't like walking? That's okay. It's not about finding the perfect workout. The key is to find an activity that you genuinely enjoy. Yoga, dancing, swimming, even gardening water gets you moving and your heart pumping. The goal is to get your body engaged, to move away from stress and reconnect with something that makes you feel alive. I can tell you from my own experience, the days I commit to even a short walk or a quick yoga session, I find myself better equipped to handle the day's challenges. It's as if the anxiety that once felt so heavy lifts a little, and I gain clarity. Have you ever noticed how much more grounded and centered you feel after moving your body? That's the magic of exercise. It helps you manage anxiety by giving you something physical to focus on instead of letting your worries spiral out of control. When anxiety takes hold, do you immediately retreat into your mind and start overthinking, or do you give your body a chance to release the tension through physical activity? It doesn't have to be anything intense. It just needs to be regular. Whether it's a 20-minute walk in the morning or dancing to your favorite song, start small. The key is consistency, and you'll start to feel the difference in your body and mind. Takeaway: exercise is not just good for your body, it's a powerful tool for reducing anxiety. It doesn't have to be intense or complicated. Whether it's walking, yoga, or dancing, make movement a regular part of your life and watch your anxiety levels drop. So, the bottom line is this: exercise is essential in managing anxiety. When life feels overwhelming, when the mind is spiraling, give yourself permission to move. Give yourself the gift of release and clarity by getting your body in motion. You don't need to be a fitness expert or spend hours at the gym to feel the benefits. Just move. Start small. Find an activity that you enjoy and commit to making it part of your routine. Even just 20 minutes of movement can have a profound impact on your anxiety. The more you make exercise a regular habit, the more resilient you'll become in the face of stress. Remember, anxiety is a part of life, but you don't have to let it control you. By taking care of your body through regular exercise, you give yourself the mental strength to overcome it. So, what's one thing you can do today to get moving? Maybe it's a walk, a stretch, or a dance break. Whatever it is, take that first step. Your body and mind will thank you. 6. Embrace mindfulness. Anxiety can't survive in the present moment. I want you to stop for a second and think about this. Where does your anxiety live? Is it in the present, or does it dwell in the future? The truth is, anxiety loves the future. It feeds on the what-ifs, the what could go wrong, the uncertainty of what might happen next. It's the mind's way of imagining the worst-case scenarios, spiraling into fear about things that haven't even happened yet. How many times have you caught yourself worrying about something in the future, only to find that when the moment came, it wasn't nearly as bad as you thought? That's anxiety at work. It lives in a world that doesn't exist, in a future that is full of possibilities but no concrete facts. And as long as you stay focused on that uncertain future, anxiety will have a home to thrive in. But here's the good news: you don't have to live there. You don't have to let your thoughts pull you out of the present moment and into a future that's based on nothing more than fears and assumptions. Instead, you have the power to bring your attention back to right now, and when you do, you'll find that anxiety starts to fade away. Let me introduce you to something powerful: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of living fully in the present moment, without judgment. It's about letting go of the what-ifs and simply being aware of what's happening right now. It's about being aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and your surroundings in the present, without getting caught up in them. Now, I know you might be thinking, is mindfulness really the answer to anxiety? Can just being in the moment really help calm my mind? And the answer is yes. It works because anxiety can't exist in the present. Think about it. Anxiety is all about anticipating what's coming. It's the fear of a future that's not certain. But when you focus on the here and now, there's no room for those anxious thoughts to grow. You're no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop because you're not thinking about the future anymore. Here's a simple way to practice mindfulness. Start by bringing your awareness to your breath. Don't try to change it or control it, just notice it. Feel the air as it enters and leaves your body. When you notice your mind starting to wander to worries about the future, gently bring your focus back to the breath. This is the essence of mindfulness: return your focus to the present moment over and over again, without judgment. You can also practice mindfulness through mindful eating. Next time you sit down for a meal, slow down. Notice the taste, the texture, the colors of the food. Take your time and really enjoy each bite. It sounds simple, but this kind of mindfulness helps break the habit of mindlessly rushing through life, constantly thinking about what's coming next, and it pulls you back to the present moment. You can even practice mindfulness during daily activities. Whether you're walking, doing dishes, or driving, try to be fully present in the moment. Instead of letting your mind race, focus on what you're doing, what you're feeling, and what you're sensing in that very moment. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation or yoga. It's about being present in your daily life. The more you practice it, the more you'll start to realize just how much time you spend worrying about things that don't even exist. You'll begin to recognize the power of the present moment, and you'll learn how to let go of anxiety by embracing mindfulness. Here's a thought. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you could stop worrying about the future. Stop replaying worst-case scenarios in your head and simply focus on what's in front of you. How would that change the way you approach your day? How would it change the way you handle stress? The beauty of mindfulness is that it's a practice you can bring into your everyday life. It's not about achieving perfection or completely eliminating anxiety. It's about being aware of it, accepting it, and choosing not to let it control you. Here's a small challenge for you. Try taking 5 minutes each day to practice mindfulness. It could be in the morning, during lunch, or before bed. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breathing. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. Notice the sensations in your body, the environment around you, and just be present. After a few days, notice how your anxiety feels. Does it feel a little lighter? Does it feel easier to be in the moment? Takeaway: mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools to combat anxiety because it helps you focus on the present moment where anxiety simply can't exist. Here's the truth. Anxiety is not something you can control by force. You can't push it away or wish it away. But you can learn to shift your focus, and mindfulness is one of the most effective ways to do that. It helps you break free from the cycle of worrying about the future and bring yourself back to the peace of the present moment. So, when anxiety strikes, remember, you don't have to go down the rabbit hole of what-ifs. You can choose to live in the now. You can choose to practice mindfulness and regain control over your thoughts. I challenge you today. Take 5 minutes to practice mindfulness. Just 5 minutes to slow down, breathe, and become aware of the present moment. See how it feels. Over time, you'll build a practice that gives you the strength to face anxiety without letting it control you. Remember, you have the power to manage your anxiety, and the present moment is your greatest ally. 7. Seek help when needed. You don't have to face this alone. Let's be real for a moment. Anxiety can feel overwhelming. We've all been there, right? That moment when the weight of everything feels like it's too much to handle, when you're stuck in your thoughts and it feels like there's no way out. It's easy to think, I should be able to handle this on my own. But here's the truth, you don't have to face it alone. There is no shame in admitting that you need help. In fact, reaching out for support is one of the most courageous things you can do for yourself. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes bravery to acknowledge when something is too much to bear and to allow others to help carry the load with you. Think about this. How often do we push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion, convincing ourselves that we have to tough it out? But why? Why do we carry that burden when there are people, resources, and professionals who are ready and willing to help? The truth is, anxiety isn't something you always have to manage on your own. Sometimes, asking for help can be the first step to healing. Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel after talking to a close friend or family member about something that's been bothering you? Just the act of sharing your thoughts with someone who listens can create an immense sense of relief. This is the first form of help we often overlook, simply opening up to someone you trust. But there's more to it than that. Therapy and counseling are tools that have helped countless people manage anxiety and begin to heal. Therapists are trained to help you understand the root causes of your anxiety and equip you with the tools and strategies you need to take back control. Seeking professional help isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're choosing to grow, choosing to take action to feel better, and choosing to invest in your mental health. You might be thinking, but what if they don't understand? What if it feels awkward? Here's what I want you to know. It's okay to feel that way. Feeling unsure about seeking help is completely normal. But I can promise you this, therapists are trained to understand what you're going through. They're there to listen without judgment and to offer guidance that's tailored to you. It's their job to make you feel heard, understood, and supported. I know from personal experience that reaching out for help has been one of the most transformative steps in my life. The first time I spoke to a therapist, I was terrified. I wasn't sure what to expect or how it would help. But what I realized over time was that therapy didn't just give me solutions, it gave me clarity. It gave me the ability to understand the underlying causes of my anxiety and provided me with practical tools to cope. And sometimes, seeking help doesn't have to mean seeing a professional right away. Maybe it's talking to a trusted friend or family member. It's finding someone who can hold space for you, listen without judgment, and just be there. The support of others can make all the difference. So, let me ask you this: what would happen if you took that first step? What would happen if you reached out for help the next time you felt overwhelmed? What if the support you need is just a conversation away? The reality is, you don't have to go through this alone. There is no need to struggle in silence when help is available. Whether it's professional support or a conversation with someone you trust, you deserve the support that will help you heal and thrive. Don't wait for things to get worse. Take the step toward getting the help you need today. Takeaway: don't hesitate to seek help. There's no shame in asking for support when you need it. Whether it's a therapist, counselor, or just a friend, reaching out is a powerful act of self-care and healing. So, let's wrap this up. Anxiety is a part of life, but it doesn't have to be something you battle alone. Whether you choose to talk to a trusted friend, reach out for professional therapy, or simply seek a support group, getting the help you need is a crucial part of managing anxiety. Remember this: you are not weak for needing help. Asking for support is a courageous step towards healing and peace. The more you embrace this, the more you'll realize that you don't have to face your struggles in isolation. The next time anxiety feels overwhelming, ask yourself, who can I talk to? How can I get the support I need? Your path to healing doesn't have to be walked alone. So, here's the truth about managing anxiety. The usual advice like just breathe or don't worry might sound simple, but let's be real, sometimes it just doesn't cut it. These quick fixes often fall short of actually helping you overcome the root causes of anxiety. However, when you begin to understand why anxiety arises, challenge your anxious thoughts, create positive habits, stay active, practice mindfulness, and seek help when you need it, you can actually start to regain control and reduce your anxiety in meaningful ways. The big lesson I want to leave you with today is this: anxiety does not control you, you have the power to control it. Every day is a new opportunity to take small steps toward mastering your anxiety. The goal isn't to eliminate it entirely, that would be unrealistic. But it is about learning how to coexist with it, accepting it for what it is, and taking intentional, practical steps to reduce its impact on your life. Let me ask you this: how would it feel to not let anxiety dictate your every move, your every thought? Imagine if you had the tools to deal with it in a healthy way. How would your days look if you were equipped to face anxiety with confidence and calm? It's about starting with small, actionable steps. It's about putting a routine in place, taking a walk when you feel overwhelmed, practicing mindfulness for a few minutes each day, or reaching out for support when you need it. The key is to begin. It doesn't have to be a big leap. Even the smallest steps matter. You have the tools. You have the power. Anxiety cannot stand against you when you are in control. So, what will you do today to start taking control of your anxiety? What's the one small action you can take right now to make progress? Maybe it's setting up a morning routine, taking a moment to breathe deeply, or taking a short walk to clear your mind. Whatever it is, take that first step. That's all it takes. Remember, anxiety isn't your enemy. It's just a part of life that you can learn to navigate. You don't have to fight it, you just need to learn how to respond to it in a way that empowers you. So, let's start today.